Magandang buhay mga bata! Tara, samahan ninyo akong matuto kasama si
Teacher Aika, your online teacher. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell for more videos. Thank you! Matatag Curriculum, English Grade 4, Quarter 4, Lesson 6. Our topic for today is about structure of news report. This is Teacher Aika, your online teacher. Let's start! Learning competency. Comprehend informational text. Noting important information through outlining, topic, main idea, and supporting details. Distinguishing fact from opinion, statements of facts, opinions, and fact-based statements of opinion. Objectives. First, identify the structure of an informative text. News. Second, distinguish fact from opinion. And third, note important information through outlining. Day 1, short review. So have the students answer the following multiple choice questions about facts and opinion. Number 1, all the statements describe facts except A. The statements are true. B. The statements are supported by evidence. C. The statements express truth. D. The statements may differ from one person to another. The answer is letter C. The statements may differ from one person to another. Number 2, what is an opinion? A. It refers to a statement that can be verified. B. It refers to a statement that can be proven by statistics. C. It refers to a personal belief or view. Or D. It refers to a factual statement. The answer is letter A. It refers to a statement that can be verified. Number 3, which of the following is an opinion? A. I have the most beautiful mother in the world. B. DepEd stands for Department of Education. C. The Vice President of the Philippines is Sara Duterte. Or D. All of the above. The answer is letter A. I have the most beautiful mother in the world. Number 4. Which of the following information is a fact? A. The Philippines celebrate Independence Day every 12th of June. B. Rodrigo Duterte could be re-elected as the president in the next election. C. I think Dr. Rizal is proud of the youth today. Or D. Europeans would enjoy their stay in the Philippines. The answer is letter A. The Philippines celebrate Independence Day every 12th of June. Look at the news pictures and talk about what you see using the questions as a guide. PH poverty rate rose to 23.7% in H1 2021 amid expensive food, high joblessness. National statistician Dennis Mapa said the increase in poverty incidence at the start of the year reversed the downward trend during the preceding 3 rounds of the first trimester, Family Income and Expenditure Survey being conducted by the Philippine Statistic Authority every 3 years. Questions. A. Who are in the photo? The answer. The photo shows a poor family, including parents and children sitting on the ground and sharing a meal. What is happening in the photo? The answer. The family appears to be struggling with poverty, eating a simple meal in a difficult living condition. The image relates to the rising poverty rate in the Philippines due to expensive food and high unemployment. Why should we know about the news? Have you ever wondered why adults always watch the news or read about what's happening around the world? It's because knowing what's going on helps us understand the world better. Unlocking content vocabulary. A. Headline. Headline is the main title of a news story, usually printed in a large letters at the top of a story. B. Byline. Shows who wrote the story. C. Lead. Lead informs the reader of the most important aspects of the story. It contains the 5 W's and H. Who, persons involved. What took place. When did it take place. Where did it take place. Why did it happen? D. Body. Body of the news report gives more details and information about the news story. Let's read. Look at the news article. 1 of 4 kids under 5 years old stunted. DOH by Maria Teresa Montemayor, published on September 4, 2023 on the Philippine News Agency website. Read and talk about what it means and why it is important. 1 of 4 kids under 5 years old stunted. DOH by Maria Teresa Montemayor, September 4, 2023, 6:40 p.m. Manila, the country remains to have high levels of child stunting with 26.7% or 1 in every 4 children under 5 years old being shorter for their age, the Department of Education or DOH said Monday. Speaking at the national launch for the Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition, PPAN 2023 to 2028 at the Manila Hotel, Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa noted that 5% of children under 5 years old are wasting or underweight for a child's height. On the other hand, we also have the problem of obesity among children. Although this is low at 3%, pero habang tumatanda, nagiging teenager, tumataas yung ating obesity and overweight problem to as high as 14% or to 13% among the adolescent, he said. Sa kababaihan naman, almost 50% ng ating populasyon malaki ang problema ng nutritional anemia. Kulang yung iron sa kanilang kinakain. Siguro hindi kumakain ng green leafy vegetable, prime source of iron. We have a high prevalence of anemia among pregnant women as high as 23% and for reproductive age 10%. Through the PPAN, the government seeks to address all forms of malnutrition with a particular focus on stunting and wasting, obesity, micronutrients deficiencies, and poor infant and young child feeding practices. The new PPAN which is the 11th Plan for Food and Nutrition since 1974, sets direction for food and nutrition policies and strategies for various stakeholders and duty bearers for the government, non-government organizations, development partners, academies, local government units, and private sector. Herbosa said nutrition is recognized as one of the pillars for socio-economics in the country by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Marcos labeled nutrition as one of the priorities of his administration, as shown in the inclusion of pregnant women and children in the first 100 days of life in the food stamp program led by the Department of Social Welfare and Development. Making sure that nutritious food is available to our citizens. Second, limiting or taxing our unhealthy foods, high sugar content, high salt content, junk foods, he said. We're converging the DSWD, the DILG, because the implementation of this plan is really in the local governments. So we need the help of government officials. We also want to encourage the plan, more research on the nutritious foods that the Filipinos can partake of, he added. As the PPAN takes on the whole of society approach, the National Nutrition Council will organize sub-island launches in the coming weeks at the regional and local levels. Now, let's identify the parts of the news. First is headline, the title of the news article that summarizes its main points. 1 of 4 kids under 5 years old stunted, DOH. This is the headline. Byline, the name of the author who wrote the article. The author is by Maria Teresa Montemayor, and this is the byline. Lead, the first sentence or paragraph that provides the most important details. Manila, the country remains to have high levels of child stunting with 26.7% or 1 in every 4 children under 5 years old being shorter for their age, the Department of Health or DOH said Monday. This is the lead. Body, the rest of the article that provides supporting details and explanations. This part is the body. Day 2, explicitation. Let's make this fun and simple for kids. Here are some questions to ask. What is news? The answer: news tells us important things happening around us, like events, problems, or good stories. Where can we find news? The answer: we can find news on TV, radio, newspapers, websites, and social media. Why is news important? The answer: news helps us know what's happening so we can stay safe, learn new things, and make good choices. How do we know if news is real or fake? The answer: we check if it comes from a trusted source, has real facts, and is not just someone's opinion. Activity number 2, reading the news. Below are excerpts from a news article. Ask the students, to underline the details that answer the questions in the worksheet. Headline: 1 of 4 kids under 5 years old stunted, says DOH. Byline by Maria Teresa Montemayor, September 4, 2023, 6:40 p.m. Lead: Manila. The country remains to have high levels of child stunting, with 26.7% or 1 in every 4 children under 5 years old being shorter for their age, the Department of Health or DOH said Monday. Questions. Number 1. What are the malnutrition problems of Filipino children according to the Health Secretary? The answer: underweight and obesity. Number 2. What is the malnutrition problem among women? The answer: anemia. Which statement is an opinion? The answer: maybe they're not eating green leafy vegetable. Number 4. How will the government solve the malnutrition problems? The answer: making sure that nutritious food is available to our citizens. Second, limiting or taxing our unhealthy foods, high sugar content, high salt content, junk foods. Activity number 3, outlining the news. Have the students complete the outline by organizing details from activity number 2, reading the news. First part, we have malnutrition problems of Filipino children. Second part, malnutrition problems of Filipino women. And third part, government program to solve malnutrition problems. Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition of PPAN 2023-2028. Let us answer. Underweight and obesity. Anemia. Maybe they're not eating green leafy vegetables. By making sure that nutritious food is available to our citizens. And limiting or taxing unhealthy foods, high sugar content, high salt content, and junk foods. Day 3 to 4, lesson activity. Activity number 4, read more news. Use the news story about a feeding program for elementary pupils in Cebu. The article, written by John Ray Saavedra, is entitled Feeding Program for 900,000 Cebu Learners Get More Support. The news was published in the Philippine News Agency website on December 26, 2023. Let's have another article about feeding program for 900,000 Cebu learners get more support by John Ray Saavedra, December 26, 2023, 5:27 p.m. Cebu City, the massive school feeding program of the Cebu provincial government received more support from the private sector, an official said on Tuesday. This time, a processed meat firm in the country committed to donating canned goods comprising corned beef and chicken luncheon meat for the learner beneficiaries of the Sugbo school feeding program. Government Gwendolyn Garcia said that Pure Foods Hormel Company Incorporated, a manufacturer of processed meat products and other food service items in the country, committed to help the program after seeing its benefit to the school children. Cebu Provincial Government Public Information Officer Jose Gabriel Cruz said Vice President and CEO of Pure Foods visited Garcia before Christmas to express the company's commitment to support the feeding program. The support from the company is on top of the 3 tons of dressed chicken donated by the San Miguel Food and Beverages Incorporated. San Miguel Food, the information office reported, pledged to give 7,000 kilos more of dressed chicken as the main ingredient of the porridge for the learners. Once the feeding program resumes after the New Year's celebration. We also want to understand better the feeding program so we could help in any way we can. Cruz was quoted as saying in a news release. The daily feeding program in all 1,594 public schools run by the Department of Education will be until June 2024, targeting to feed 878,619 kindergarten pupils to grade 12 students in the province. Headline: Feeding program for 900,000 Cebu learners get more support. Byline by John Ray Saavedra, December 26, 2023, 5:27 p.m. Lead: Cebu City. The massive school feeding program of the Cebu provincial government received more support from the private sector, an official said on Tuesday. Here are the questions. First, what support did the private company give to the Sugbo school feeding program? The answer, a processed meat firm donating canned goods for the learner beneficiaries of the Sugbo school feeding program. Number 2, which private company that promised support to the feeding program? The answer, Pure Foods Hormel Company Incorporation. Number 3, what is the other private company that promised to support the feeding program? What support did they pledge? The answer, San Miguel Food, 7,000 kilos more of dressed chicken as the main ingredient of the porridge for the learners. Number 4, how many public schools and learners will benefit from the daily feeding program? The answer, 1,594 public schools and 878,619 kindergarten pupils to grade 12 students. Activity number 5, outlining more news. Have the students complete the outline by organizing details from activity 4. Read more news. First part, school feeding program for learners in Cebu. And second part, private companies and their promised support to the feeding program. Let's answer. Daily feeding program in all 1,594 public schools run by the Department of Education in Cebu. And targeting to feed 878,619 kindergarten pupils to grade 12 students in Cebu. Second part, Pure Foods Hormel Company Inc. canned goods including corned beef and chicken, luncheon meat. And San Miguel Food, 7,000 kilos of dressed chicken as the main ingredient of porridge. Learners' takeaways. Activity 6, 3, 2, 1, exit sleep. Complete the exit sleep below. 3 interesting things I learned this week. 2 things I want to read more about. 1 question I have. Reflection on learning. Which task did I do well? Which task can I do better in? Formative assessment. Have the students read news excerpts and complete the blank outline that follows. The blank outline is in the worksheet. The suggested news story is entitled Pinoy Kids Eating More Sugary, Salty, Fatty Food, and written by Pia Lee Brago. The news was published in the Philippine Star website on March 20, 2023. Pinoy kids eating more sugary, salty, fatty food. Written by Pia Lee Brago, March 20, 2023. Manila, Philippines. The food environment in the Philippines is failing Filipino children who eat more sugary, salty, and fatty food products, driving the high prevalence of overweight kids and obesity, according to findings of the United Nations Children's Fund or UNICEF. A new UNICEF report titled Children's Lived Experience of the Food Environment found that children and young people in the Philippines are influenced by similar environmental factors that impact their food choices and eating habits. By examining the children's lived experience, UNICEF was able to pinpoint the policies that the Philippine government and other stakeholders need to strengthen to provide children with better access to healthier diets and living conditions. These improvements are crucial in supporting the growth and development of children in the country. The report described a day in the life of children from various parts of the Philippines and of different ages. It said the lived experiences of these children highlight the realities of children's lives and clearly indicate how policies can improve their environments and diets. The diets of children in the Philippines are changing according to the study, with children eating fewer fruits and vegetables and more sugar, salty, and fatty foods. Three-quarters of 74% of children aged 13 to 15 years old eat less than 3 portions of vegetables per day, while more than one-third or 38% drink at least one soft drink per day. Among children aged 5 to 10 years old, overweight rates increased significantly from 10.4% in 2019 to 14% last year, while among adolescents aged 10 to 19 years old, it increased from 10.7% in 2019 to 13% last year. The report said poor diet contributes to a triple burden of malnutrition with undernutrition in the form of poor growth and micronutrient deficiencies coexisting with increasing rates of overweight. This triple burden of malnutrition is driven by systems that fail to provide children with adequate diet, space to play and exercise, access to safe water and hygienic environments, and financial security. Malnutrition is a serious violation of a child's right to adequate nutrition and can have serious long-term consequences to a child's health, development, and well-being. Children need a varied and nutritious diet for their growth and development, and caregivers need support to provide their children with a healthy diet. UNICEF Philippines representative Oyun Saikan Dandevnorov said, supported by the Center for Food Policy at City University of London, the study aimed to understand children's lived experiences of the food environment and to provide qualitative evidence for policy options to prevent overweight and obesity among children. It complements a comprehensive landscape analysis that reviewed the extent and risk factors for overweight and obese children, identified the gaps in governance, policies and programs, and recommended actions for policymakers. Evidence from the landscape analysis, a related marketing strategy or study, and these study provide a robust rationale for strengthening policies and legislation. The study detailed recommendations on food, social protection, built infrastructure, education, and communication systems, such as introducing mandatory legislation to restrict the marketing of unhealthy food to children, promoting availability of locally produced food at affordable prices, developing safe areas where children can play and engage in sport activities, and enforcing policies and standards to promote healthy school food environments. The climate crisis, economic shocks, and rising prices are hitting vulnerable families particularly hard, according to the study. First part, obesity among Filipino children. A. What are the results of the kind of food environment in the Philippines? The answer, Filipino children eat more sugary, salty, and fatty foods, and number of overweight children increase. B. How did the number of overweight 5 to 10-year-old children change from 2019 to 2020? The answer, overweight rates increased significantly from 10.4% in 2019 to 14% last year. Second part, needs of children to have better health. A. What kind of diet do children need for their growth? The answer, children need a varied and nutritious diet. B. How can caregivers, example parents, support children's health? The answer, caregivers need to give their children a healthy diet.
Maraming salamat sa panonood! Huwag kalimutang i-like at mag-subscribe para sa higit pang educational content. I-click ang bell icon para ma-update ka sa ating mga bagong video. Salamat!